I'm going to kick this off. So, some of you know me. I'm Asher. I'm a junior. And so I'm just going to start us off with, I'm not an expert at this, but I did my research. I knew what I was going to do. So there's just some verses of the Bible. Some verses, and this is my input. So they asked me to do a breakout group. I knew I was going to do it first. I had to think about it, I prayed about it. And I realized that I think faith was really what I want to do. Because, what is faith? So the first night, I decided I was going to count how many times the person said faith throughout the whole night. And so I got tired at about 30. I was just tired of counting. So the next time I was going to do the same thing. It was about the same. So we probably heard the word faith in songs this whole weekend. Probably at least 100 times. We've heard it so many times. But what is faith? And that's what I really want to do at this point out. So let me just start with a story. So there's a group of people out in the middle of nowhere, and there's been a drought for a long time. And these people decide they're going to have like a rain festival to try and encourage the rain, It's like something they do. So all these people come out and hope there's going to be rain. But there's only one kid that brings umbrellas. That kid's the only one that has faith. They're all hoping that this is going to happen. They all want the rain. Only one kid has faith that it's going to happen. He's the only one that was prepared and believed that it's going to happen. He had faith. So, what is faith? Oh, that's my notes. My bad. So, the dictionary definition of faith. We're going to get there eventually. There we go. Okay. So, the dictionary definition of faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. So that's what the dictionary says faith is. Complete trust or confidence. Alright? Well, what is it really? So, Hebrews 11:1 tells us that faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. So I think that last part's most important. It's assurance about what we do not see. So obviously, you guys have been to church at least once today. And you know who God is. Someone we can't see, but someone we have to trust in, someone we have to believe in. God is that thing we can't see. But hope, and we have to have hope and assurance in God who we cannot see. That's what faith is. It's hope and assurance in God that He's right here. We just don't know. We can't see that He's right here. We have to have that faith that He's right there. So in Mark 5:36, Jesus said, "Don't be afraid, just believe." When I was little, and I still struggle with this sometimes, I'm scared that this isn't the right thing, There's probably hundreds of religions out there. Why is ours right? That always freaks me out. But in Mark 5:36, Jesus commands us, don't be afraid, just believe. I think that really just brings home what it is. Don't be afraid about all this other stuff. Don't be scared that you might run into some issues. Just have faith and just believe in God. I think that's just really an important part. So, this is Jesus saying, I know everything that's going on. I know you're struggling with this. I know you're struggling with that. But just have faith and keep going. So, faith is believing that God's going to provide for you and is going to protect you through everything that goes on. I know life sucks sometimes. I know everyone's going to go through stuff. I've gone through so much stuff in my life. But I have this faith that God's going to provide for me because that's what He does. So it's that strong belief. It's not just thinking that God's going to do something. It's knowing deep in your heart that God's going to be there, no matter what. So an example of this is, I don't know how old some of you are, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life. College, all this stuff. And if you're not there yet, you're going to be. And the way I was thinking about it is I just keep on asking God what He wants me to do. Because if there's something that's going to make me a bunch of money and something that God is telling me to do that won't make that much money, I'm going to go with the thing that God's telling me to do every time. Because I have faith that God's going to provide for me. It's that faith that gets us through this life. Because without it, we're just going to take our own path. We have to believe and have faith that God's going to provide for us. So, we have faith that God has a plan for us. We have faith that God's going to support us. So an example of that is, everyone here sat down. They came here today. They sat down in this chair for the first time. no one's ever sat down in these chairs before. This is a random chair, right? I didn't see anyone go up here and just like tap on this chair, like make sure it's going to hold you, right? You had faith that that chair was going to hold you, because that's what chairs do, you know? The chair is meant to hold you. God is going to hold you up. This chair may rock a little bit, you know, but it's not gonna. I'm not gonna fall through it. There may be some things that happen in your life, but God's not gonna let you go. You're gonna get through it. You just have to have that faith, that assurance. Because would you rather sit down on a little unsteady chair and go through some hard times, or stand up? You'd rather sit down. You just have to have that faith in that chair. You have to have that faith in God that He's gonna get you through it. So that's what faith is. But why is it important? So later in Hebrews 11:3, it says, "By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible." So that just kind of sums it all up. Everything in this world is made by someone we can't see. Everything that goes on is something we can't see, you know? And we just have to have that faith. That's the whole point of this. That's why we need faith. To believe in all this stuff that goes on, that we don't know why. We don't know why this happens. We don't know why that happens. We just have to have that faith that it goes on, and that God is there for all of it. So God works in ways that we could never understand, but we have to have faith that's actually God working. So that's why it's important, because without it, if I didn't have faith, I would just be mad at everything bad, everything little, tiny, insignificant that happens in my life. But I know, I have the faith that God has a purpose for it, that I don't struggle for no reason. You guys don't struggle for no reason. We all struggle for a reason, because God knows the reason. I don't know the reason, but if it was up to me, we wouldn't struggle. But we have to have faith that God knows the reason, and He's going to get us through it. So later in Hebrews 11:6, it says, "And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him." Alright. Anyone that comes to Him must believe that He exists, and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him. So why do we need faith? Because without faith it is impossible to please God. That's coming straight out of Hebrews. That's not me saying that. That's the Bible saying that. We need the faith to please God. We need faith because God calls us to have faith. You know, we need faith because that's what this all is. This is all faith. So, so later in the Bible, in 2 Chronicles 20:20, it says, "Have faith in the Lord your God, and you will stand strong." So there's a lot of versions of that verse. I don't remember what version this is, but I like this version because it says, "Have faith and you will stand strong." Because it doesn't say, "Have faith and you'll be okay." Have faith and you'll probably live. Have faith and you will stand strong. With that faith, you can get over any barrier. With that faith, you can get through anything. Because if you just believe in God, you're going to get through this. So, next we have Ephesians 2:8, and it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and it is not from yourselves, it's from God." So, I think, since I've said so many times that faith is important, why it's important, what it is, how do we get faith? So, I believe in Solomon. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe in Solomon, who God tells, "Ask for wisdom and I'll give it to you." It's the same thing. God wants us to have faith. God needs us to have faith. All we have to do is ask God for faith. We can't have faith on our own, because that's not who we are. It's hard for me to believe in something I can't see, you know? But if I have to ask God for His faith so I can believe in Him. So everything He does, I know He does for me. So 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, "For we live by faith, not by sight." So all this stuff goes on. The world is created. Everything happens, and we don't know why. We don't know how it happens. But we have to live by faith. We have to live by what we believe, not by what we see. Because most stuff that goes on, we're not going to be able to see. We just have to have that faith that is God. So I was in Hebrews 11 a lot, just working on this. And Hebrews 11 is called the Christian Hall of Fame. You know, everyone from the Bible, not everyone, but a lot of people from the Bible are brought up in it, right? So I'm just going to read you a few seconds from that. "By faith Noah built an ark By faith, Abraham was ready to sacrifice his child. By faith, Moses left Egypt. By faith, the walls of Jericho came crumbling down. By faith, Daniel entered the lion's den, and by faith, God will provide for us. That last part I added. But every other part is in that book. We know the story of Noah. We know the story of Moses in Egypt. They all did this out of faith. They all did this because they believed that this could get them in some serious trouble. Moses, them leaving Egypt, they were slaves, and they just left because they believed they had the faith that God wasn't going to let them get hurt. I think the Abraham one, I don't know if
as your breakout session is ending,
so I'm just going to bring it to the end real quick. So
in the center, we're going
to end you with this. So just like the Bible says in Jeremiah 15:41, I will deliver you out of the hands of the
go ahead and give a round of applause to your
wicked.
breakout session leaders. Incredible.
So I'm just going to end it really quick. I have a little minute. So by faith, God works through all of these things. By faith, He saved all these people, and He is not finished yet. Because by faith, you've already been saved, and He will deliver you from the tough times, and God will deliver you from anything. You just have to have the faith in God. And that's all.